What we put up here is 10 180 watt solar panels, and we made a 1.8 kilowatt array, and it sits up on the roof here and then basically comes down and goes over to an inverter by my trash over here and then into the house. The inverter here is where all the juice from the roof, where the solar array is, it comes down to here, and then it goes into the house. Right now we're putting out 1,300 watts. It's a 180 watt, I'm sorry, 1.8 kilowatts, that's 1,800 watt system. So I'll be doing a short video here just to show you how we did this. I'm doing this because I've had a lot of people ask, how did I do it, and what was the trials and tribulations of getting it all approved with the county and the permits, and I had to redo it a couple of times, so I'm going to be going through what happened. I've got some past history of wiring it. So, but before we go, it's a new day now, and if you notice, this thing's only putting out, check it out. It's sort of cloudy today, and there's sun's kind of barely getting through, and we're getting about 450 watts. People often say, well, what happens when it's cloudy? You know, you just get less wattage comes out of it. These inverters are pretty neat because they have a lot of built-in capabilities where they can tell you how much power, you know, you've got during the day and what the voltage is, but you can ask it all kinds of questions. So there's about 4 different types of these. Fronius, PV powered, and Ben is real popular. Xantrex, Sunny Boy from I think it's somewhere, something or other, America. I can't. There's about 5 or 6 of these. Outback makes one for remote locations. I like this one because it was kind of small, 25 pounds. Pretty easy. It's a 2,000 watt inverter. For a bigger system, you get a bigger inverter. So let's go in and let me show you where this is. Flexible Carflex material inside the garage here. Carflex tubing is the conduit that it's waterproof. You just run it secured every 3 feet. You got to have another secure to make county requirements. Every 3 feet comes over. They attach a box. See, this whole thing is going to go into your regular box that your house is hooked up to. County required all kinds of little signs and notes and where all the disconnects are, because there's places to unhook. There's all kinds of disconnects. We'll get to that in a minute. The solar input from the inverter goes right to a switch, just like any other appliance in your house. An electrician, he does this. It's easy. This part, well, it's easy for an electrician. It's not easy for you, so don't try to do something you shouldn't be. This is why you get a contractor for this part. Which brings us back to the disconnects. See, all these inverters, there's one DC and one AC. One's hooked up to the line coming in from the array, and one will disconnect the line going over the breaker box we were just looking at. County likes to see a whole bunch of these. Actually, they want one more DC disconnect between here and the array. And the other disconnect we were just looking at is the one in the fuse box for the AC side. So let's pop upstairs where I have the DC disconnect. Poof, upstairs, here we are on the deck, and this is our disconnect switch. You want a place to disconnect everything from the array, which is right up here on the roof. And once again, we're just using secured every 3 feet Carflex 3/4 inch flexible tubing. Goes right into the side with a waterproof connector, both sides. We also have ground wires going up there, and this was a major issue with code, how many and where they're secured. One of these had to go off the deck here downstairs in the ground. Electrician didn't think that was really necessary, but the inspector, he wanted to see that, so we got it for him. This is a kind of an expensive DC disconnect, rated 600 volts DC. That's the big stumbling block right there. The first time I tried this 3-phase disconnect, has an internal fuse in it. The fuse is right inside here, and then you need to have a fuse in the line here. We're going to get to that in a minute. But on this box, it wasn't rated high enough. It worked perfect, but it wasn't rated right. So to make the county happy and whatever jurisdiction you're talking with, make sure you got the right, for us, UL approved everything. So let's pop back now to where I wired all this stuff. And this little baby right here, this cuts the power off of the array upstairs, and it's just a shut-off switch. No fuses in there. Fuses go up there in a box. This is the box that's going on the roof that the disconnect switch is going to hook up into. We've got 4 connections here. This box that goes on the roof is going to have 2 fuse holders inside of it, so we're going to fuse it there as opposed to fusing it over in the disconnect box, which can be done there too, but it's a little more expensive.